Hello, everybody. This is Justin Feyereisen. And Murder on the Orient Express is based off a 1934 book by Agatha Christie. It is directed by Kenneth Branagh. He stars as Hercules Poirot, and he has previously directed Thor and the 2015 live-action film Cinderella, plus a lot of Shakespeare. And I know him as an actor from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. That's the second Harry Potter film, where he played Gilderoy Lockhart, the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, where he was stealing memories from other wizards and passing them off as his own, and then he got hired as this teacher, and he's not qualified because he's just been stealing memories from other people. This has an incredible cast. It's got Penelope Cruz, William Dafoe. I love the Spider-Man. He played the Green Goblin in the first Sam Raimi film. Judi Dench, Johnny Depp, Josh Gad from Beauty and the Beast played LeFou earlier in the live-action adaptation this year. He's Olaf. I first saw him in a little TV show that had one season, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, where he played the son of the president. Leslie Odom Jr. from Hamilton, where he played Aaron Burr. He's in a film. His last film was a couple years ago, and it was George Lucas's Red Tails, which I haven't seen, but that was the last movie George Lucas directed, so fun fact. Michelle Pfeiffer, Batman Returns, and she's also in the upcoming Ant-Man and the Wasp film, plays Janet Van Dyne, which I'm super excited for next summer. Daisy Ridley is in this film. She was Rey in The Force Awakens. And like I said before, this is based off a Agatha Christie novel from 1934. It takes place in 1938, the film, so it's roughly around the same time the book was written. And this is the fourth adaptation of this novel. It was a 1974 film, a 2001 television series, and then it was a 2010 TV episode of the Agatha Christie Poirot, which she has used as character in multiple novels and short stories. And this is a first film in a film franchise if it's successful. And Kenneth Branagh has said he likes playing the character and he likes directing, and if there are opportunities, if it connects to audiences, he will do more films. And this is a film that's been based off source material that came out in 1934, so this has been adapted a few times. There are a lot of people that are familiar with the story. I was not. I was trying to figure out what this mystery was and who done it with the film, and the ending was it was a very different murder mystery, and I really liked it. And that goes back to the source material, which I have avoided my entire life. So that's very interesting, and I know there's a lot of people that will know the twist and they'll know the ending and they'll know who done it. But I still think with this cast of characters, it is very intriguing, and I love all these actors from a lot of different things. And this is a gorgeously shot movie. The cinematography is really good. And it's mostly this one scene. It's mostly on this train, but then there's stuff before to get you to know these characters before they go on the train. And Kenneth Branagh is directing and starring as the main character who's trying to figure out who done it. And they set up this character really well, even before the murder. You're like, I like this guy, I'm invested in this guy. He's the greatest detective in the world. The world's greatest detective, I believe, is the actual line that they use in the movie. And it's so interesting, and it reminds me a lot of the Pink Panther, because they're both kind of like that weird mustache detective. One of the opening shots of this movie, there's these two eggs, and he's measuring them, and he's like, not perfect, not perfect. Well, you find out that he was just trying to stall so they could search this other guy's room to find the stolen artifact. And I'm like, huh. And then in the same, little bit later, again, before they even get on the train, he steps in some camel feces, because he's in Jerusalem, and he's like, it's not about me stepping in the feces, it's about how one shoe has feces on it and the other doesn't, and then he purposely steps with the other shoe in the big pile of poo. And I'm like, this defines this character right off the bat, and this is a very interesting character. And Murder on the Orient Express was filmed in 65mm film, and they actually use some of the same cameras as Dunkirk, which I have not seen yet, but I heard it was very good. And you can tell that there's a lot of, this is shot on film, which is very different, and has just a different style. And I'm so glad that I have avoided knowing about the source material, because I just sat around, I enjoyed the ride. Again, the twist was very out there and is a very different kind of murder movie. And I would recommend this film if you're not doing anything. Thor is still out there, so it didn't open #1. And then it's also competing with Daddy's Home 2, and this next week, Justice League comes out. So I don't know how successful this film is going to be. But I did enjoy this film, and I think a lot of people out there will enjoy this film. I went yesterday, and I bought like one of the last seats available. I had a good seat. I wasn't in the first 2 rows. I was like 4 rows back. I ignored that. I focused on the film. I really enjoyed the film. There wasn't an empty seat in the house at the end. And I came out, and a lot of people were talking about how they enjoyed the film, and I would give it an 8 out of 10, and would recommend you see Murder on the Orient Express if you're not too busy seeing Justice League or Thor.